Hello friends, my name is Riya and today in this video I'll be explaining a program which is based on exception handling. So we are supposed to create a menu driven application in order to perform the following operations on an integer queue by using the concept of interfaces. So we have to create custom exceptions in order to deal with the following situations. So our very first situation is whenever a non-integer value is encountered in the queue, so we have to create a custom exception, and then the other one is insert operation when the queue is full, and the third one is insert operation when the queue is empty. So I've created an interface called integer queue over here, and I've declared the abstract functions inside this interface. Is full, is empty, enqueue with one parameter, and dequeue. So I've created a class called queue which is implementing this interface called integer queue, and in this class queue all these abstract function has to be defined. So as we all know, in the implementation of queue there are two variables which is commonly used. One is front and another one is rear. So both are initialized as -1 over here. So what is the main condition for is full? The condition for is full is whenever rear becomes equal to the maximum -1 element, so 1 has to be written, otherwise 0 has to be written. And what is the condition for is empty? The condition is whenever front is equal to rear, so 1 has to be written, otherwise 0 has to be returned. So in the enqueue function, first of all it is checked whether rear is equal to -1. If it is equal to -1, we have to set front and rear equal to 0, and then we have to insert the data inside this particular location. Otherwise, if it is greater than rear plus 1 is greater than equal to n, so then we inside that we have to keep this try and catch block. So it will be checking whether, so once if our queue is full, so this particular object will be thrown, and then it will come to this part of the program, and then this constructor will be called, and this message will be displayed that size should not be greater than or equal to n. That is, it is indicating that our array is full. And similarly for the dequeue operation, so if our queue is empty, then and no more element is present to delete, so in that case the exception has to be handled. So for that, in the else part I'm putting this try catch block. So inside the try block I'm throwing check empty object, and so it is coming to this part of the program, and this constructor is called. So it is this message will be displayed that no more elements is left in the queue to delete, and after that the following elements will be displayed, whatever is there in the queue. And the other exception that we are supposed to create is for non-negative, for negative integer. So for that, while we are entering the value, while we are entering the data, so that is the time where the exception has to be handled. That is why in case 1 I put the try catch block. So here the user has to insert the data. So in case if it is the data inserted is negative, so this exception will be thrown. So this check function is called from here. So it comes to this part of the program, and then it is throwing an object of non-integer, and then this message will be displayed that the element to be inserted in the queue should be non-negative. So this is how our exception can be handled. So now let us see how this program will run. So suppose if I'm entering the size as 3, so I'm entering some negative value. Yeah, so it is showing that the element to be inserted, the exception is handled, and it is displaying that the element to be inserted in the queue should be non-negative. So do you want to continue? Yes. And then if I want to delete, Yeah, so it is displaying that no more elements is left in the queue to delete. So this is how our exception is handled. Thank you.